All right. Hey, team, I'm Lucky, and today's Thursday, so it's time to cover the big Twab news. Bungie's talking about their mid-season sandbox changes, which is actually looking really exciting. If you've been frustrated with the airborne effectiveness in the game, well, they're doing a bunch of changes and basically significantly raising it. Maybe a little bit strange that they, nerf something and then immediately buff it right afterwards, but I think a lot of the community feedback from airborne effectiveness is we don't like this, bring this back. So I think that we're going to see a substantial increase in the community's perception of the airborne effectiveness stuff. So we'll see here. Let's go ahead and dive right into the those weapons section. First up, we want to talk a little bit about the mid-season weapons preview, and then they go over the TLDR. This is they're going airborne effectiveness, improved baseline airborne accuracy, primary weapons. They raise the base airborne effectiveness stat on several exotic weapons, and they buff some perks and stuff, and then they go after the TLDR. They go into all the juicy details, and that's where we're going to start at. Okay, we've got airborne effectiveness on primary weapons. We were cautious about making weapons too easy to use while airborne at season 17 launch, preferring to take some time to evaluate and then buff accordingly rather than having to nerf. We've seen this play out in the game for several weeks now and are confident we can safely significantly decrease the airborne accuracy and aim assist penalties on primary weapons. So specifically primary weapons, when you're jumping in the air, you get a penalty. You have decreased accuracy, decreased aim assist. That was at the start of this season, season 17. So now they're going to reduce the penalty of that in a variety of different ways, and they're going to go through all of it right here. Reduced airborne penalties for all primary weapons. These changes are roughly equivalent to increasing the base AE stat of primary weapons by about 15 at low stat values. Reduced airborne accuracy penalty at low AE by 20 to 40%, depending on weapon type. Auto rifle, pulse rifle, scout rifle, submachine gun, minus 40%. Hand cannon sidearm, 20%, bow, 30%. Reduced airborne aim assist penalties for the above weapon types and changed the stat scale to provide more benefit to each point. We got reduced airborne auto aim penalty by 20%, reduced airborne magnetism by 40%. Some perks now give a static AE buff in addition to their other effects. Air Assault, which was actually a perk that was kind of lame because you had to get low health in order for it to proc. It now just gives a static plus 10 airborne effectiveness on top of the plus 60 when you get low health. So that's actually really cool. You might actually see people rocking like that. Also, like change the perception of god rolls for weapons that you want to actually use in the air. Like air assault might actually be like a good perk on a weapon if you're trying to jump in the air a lot with it. If you're rocking some stompies or whatever. I guess technically you wouldn't want to use stompies hunter because that gives that negative. But if you're using any sort of airborne effectiveness build, this could be a good perk now. Extended mag gives this as well, which normally you don't see extended mags as part of any god rolls. Steady rounds also plus 7 on that. Raise the base airborne effectiveness stat on several exotic weapons. Listed below, we got hand cannons. We got the precision, the 180 RPMs, the ones that you don't see very often in PvP. They've languished for quite a while, and we took some time to soften their time to kill in PvP. And playtesting, we found this makes them a lot more competitive, particularly in their innate plus 25 bonus to airborne effectiveness. So using those 180s, you'll be able to have really good in-air accuracy, and they're going to increase their body shot damage from 37 to 40, 57 to 60. This makes it a 2 crit 2 body against Guardians in PvP, so that might make 180s significantly better. I don't think that's going to make them meta by any means. I mean, obviously hitting all body shots is not the way to go, but 1.3 is not necessarily that impressive. We'll see. Auto rifles, we got the precision, the 450 RPMs, the least used archetype probably. I think the 360s are also really bad. Have fallen behind other AR subfamilies, partly because they were more reliant on hitting a higher proportion of crits to reach their optimal time to kill. Increased body shot damage from 19 to 20, and multiplier moves from 1.6 to 1.5. Crit damage stays the same at 30. Got it. Scout rifles. They don't want scout rifles to be better than their counterparts at close range because obviously, there has to be some balance there. Otherwise, people just run around with scout rifles and use them as hand cannons because they basically function similarly. So they do a buff to precision, 180 RPMs, increase the body shot damage from 34 to 38. The crit moves from 54 to 60. Can 2 crit 2 body against 190 HP Guardian. They got the high impacts, which have been so bad for so long now. Happy to see a buff to those to go from 38 to 42, from 66 to 73. Can 2 crit 1 body. So that one scout rifle from the Last Wish can roll rampage and kill clip. So maybe that'll actually be a beast now. We'll see. Shotguns, pellet shotguns get a buff in PvE. So So that's nice. Those are definitely slacking. We'll see if it's good now. See if that's see if we're taking our Felwinter into PvE. We got linear fusion rifles. The flinch increase on linear fusion rifles was fairly effective, but since it was global, that hurt their usability in PvE, so we made a change that applies this increased flinch damage coming only from players instead. So when you're using your linear fusion, you flinch quite a bit. You'll notice that when you're trying to shoot a boss with it. So they're going to reduce that in PvE for shooting bosses, but it still happens in PvP. Glaives. When scavenger mobs were disabled in PvP, glaives were no longer able to get enough ammo for a kill from a single brick. We've corrected that issue. Increased ammo per special brick from 1 to 2 in PvP. Damage scalers on trace rifles. Air on his Vow and fighting line were not functioning as intended. To fix this, we'll restore functionality for most weapons, but an update to fighting line will come later. Currently planned for Season 18 launch. Got it. Exotics. Here we go. So this is some big ones. So we're actually getting a nerf to the last word and a nerf to Gjallarhorn. So keep that in mind. Lorentz driver is still oppressive to play against, so we wanted to address this more thoroughly. They reduced the aim assist stat from 32 to 22. I think this is definitely fair. Lorentz driver is absolutely a menace in PvP, especially if you're on controller. It's just like unbeatable. Play style with that, you like just can't peek it. And they also reduced the suction with it, so excited to see that. I think that was a fair change. Let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments below. We got removed the universal 2x flinch nerf from the previous change. Since we've changed flinch for all linear fusion rifles, this change also applies to arbalists. All right, so here it is, the Gjallarhorn one. Gjallarhorn is much too dominant as a heavy weapon choice in PvP and Gambit due to proximity detonation. Makes it very easy to use. And Wolfpack rounds finishing Guardians should be far enough away to be safe. Primary rocket no longer has proximity detonation. Wolfpack rounds now deal half damage to players. Keep that in mind. Gjallarhorn's not going to be nearly as lethal in PvP and Gambit. I don't know about you, but every time I play Gambit and I invade, I get Gjallarhorned. So if I can actually evade that in some capacity, that would be nice. We'll see. The last word has reached a usage level on controller where it warranted some adjustment. With this change, it will be a little bit harder to land crits while hip firing. It will be less deadly at extended range. Reduced hip fire precision aim angle by 50%. Precision aim angle dictates how far off the head you can be aimed and still have aim assist grant you a critical headshot by shot. So this is quite literally referencing the video I made where I talked about controller versus mouse and keyboard last word, how literally if you click the fire button on your mouse and keyboard, it hits a body shot, but if you click the fire button on your controller, it hits a headshot. So they've finally addressed this and made this adjustment. This has been like well over a year. Reduced damage and aim assist fall off distance by 3 meters, so they also reduced the damage and aim assist fall off. So last word, getting a harsh nerf. Let me know if you like that down in the comments below. I know some people will be upset about that. Forerunner was getting 3 ammo per special brick, technically enough for a kill. But we bumped it up a little bit, and then the opposite was happening in PvE, so they buffed the special ammo for Forerunner in PvP, and they nerfed it in PvE. There you go. Aaron's Vow was getting 1 ammo per special brick, not enough for a kill. Increased ammo per special brick from 1 to 2 in PvP. And then we're evaluating airborne effectiveness stat on exotic weapons. Keep in mind that they can't equip the Icarus Grip mod and decided to bump several to be more competitive. Your Suros, you're going to be flying around in the air with that Suros. You got the Whisper of the Worm from 9 to 20. Monte Carlo, the Forerunner, from 22 to 27. Very interesting. I can't help but feel like airborne effectiveness should probably be removed altogether in PvE. Doesn't seem very fun or necessary by any means, but let me know your thoughts about that. Also, you got Prime Gaming rewards right here, so if you link your Twitch to your Bungie.net, you can subscribe to the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LuckyY, for free with that Twitch Prime sub. That's what's up. And then they go over the Pride Strike team. They're doing this Pride event in Bellevue, and you got this emblem here if you want the code there. And then they talk about Grandmasters, which nothing too special here other than there is rejoining, so keep that in mind. Before in the past, you would disconnect and you couldn't rejoin, so that's nice. I think that was their last season. And then they go over a list of known issues, movie of the week, and artist of the week. But that's a wrap for this week. Let me know your thoughts about the nerf to Lorentz, Last Word, and Gjallarhorn. And let me know your thoughts about the buffs to airborne effectiveness. Agree or disagree? Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Smash the like button. See you in the next one. Later.